Hey y'all, today we are making some chewy gingerbread bars. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is get our dry ingredients together. So what you're going to need is 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Then we're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And a lot of these seasonings that I'm going to use, or the spices that I'm going to use, if you baked any for the fall and you did anything pumpkin spice, you're probably going to have a lot of these on hand already. Okay, so a tablespoon of cinnamon. And if you don't have these, you can get these at the Dollar General. I don't know about where y'all live, but where I live, there's a Dollar General and a church on every corner. So, get what you need on every corner down here in the South. But anywho, so you're going to add a half a teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves and a half a teaspoon of salt. And that is all we need for our dry ingredients. Because I don't know if y'all know, but I kind of knew it, but kind of didn't know it, if that makes any sense. Like, sugar is not considered a dry ingredient because you usually cream that together with your butter and stuff. So it becomes part of the wet ingredients. So sometimes they don't call sugar a dry ingredient. Who knew? Who knew? Anyway, we all learned something. Okay, so for the wet ingredients, we're going to add in 3/4 cup of white sugar. And then 1/4 cup of packed dark brown sugar. If you don't have dark brown sugar, light will work just fine. But if you have the dark brown, use that. So we're going to dump that right into our bowl. Then we're going to add in about a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to need some molasses. You're going to need 1/3 cup of that. And I would recommend put a little bit of oil in your measuring cup because it's kind of like honey. If you put a little oil in there, it makes it come out a little bit easier because molasses is super, super sticky if you've never dealt with it before. But also, if you're wanting to make this recipe and you're like, gosh, this molasses is kind of expensive. I mean, to me, it is a little bit pricey, but I've used it in a lot of things and it lasts forever. You know what I mean? So go ahead and get it. Just invest. Get you some molasses. So then we're going to add in a half a cup of melted butter. And it's not softened butter in this recipe. I know usually it's softened when you're baking, but it's not. Melted butter works just fine. Then we're going to mix that up really, really well in your stand mixer. Or if you don't have a stand mixer, you can certainly use a hand mixer. But I wouldn't recommend just mixing it by hand because it's a lot of mixing, y'all. So once it's all nice and combined, go ahead and add you in 1 egg, room temperature. And one of y'all told me that if I forget to take my egg out, because I do that a lot, sit it in a bowl of warm water and it will bring your egg to room temperature. See that? Look at all the lessons we're getting today, y'all. So once your egg is good and incorporated, we're going to go ahead and add in those dry ingredients. Just add them a little bit at a time because y'all already see, and you know me, I'm going to make a mess regardless. It don't matter what I'm in here cooking. If there's flour or powdered sugar involved, it's going to be all over my kitchen. I can't help myself. I don't even know what to do. Can't take me nowhere. But anyway, so you're going to add that in until everything is just combined. You don't want to over mix it, but just make sure that all of your flour mixture, all your dry stuff is mixed in. Okay, go ahead. I forgot to tell y'all, preheat your oven to 350. Y'all know all this will be down in the description box. So anyway, the part of this, I found this recipe on Pinterest. One part said a cookie sheet. One part said jelly roll pan. So I thought, I have a jelly roll pan. I'm going to use my jelly roll pan. Well, somewhere in my brain, it never dawned on me, or I guess it didn't, not in my brain because it never dawned on me, that there's like barely a side on this jelly roll pan and that this was probably not a good idea for me to do. But, hindsight. So whatever pan you use, okay, it called for like a 9x13. This wasn't quite a 9x13, but it was close, so I figured it would work. But I would highly, highly recommend use a cookie sheet, line it with some parchment paper, and then spray your parchment paper, okay? Just trust me. Well, you're going to see in a minute. Anyway, once you get your gingerbread mixture out on your jelly roll pan, and y'all see I was struggling. Lord, I was on the struggle bus on this video. But anyway, once you get your gingerbread mixture on your whatever pan you're using, like I said, highly recommend cookie sheet with parchment paper. Flatten it out as best as you can, okay? If you got to get your hand in there, then do that. Then I pop this on a cookie sheet because, you know, it's flimsy. So I put it in the oven, you bake it for 15 to 20 minutes. Well, what happened was, you see that? All them edges just boiled right on over the side, just cooked right on over the side. And I had to take a knife and cut those off. So I had already done it off the video because I thought that I was just going to have to start completely over, but then I was like, no, I think I can salvage this. So I wanted to leave that in there, or to show y'all that if that happens to you when you're cooking anything, just try to save it if you can, because that's a lot of ingredients. That's a lot of money to just throw away. So once you get everything out of the oven and you've trimmed up your gingerbread like I had to do, hopefully y'all won't have to do that. The good thing about it was, I had snacks for the rest of the time I was cooking. Just little gingerbread snacks. But you're going to let that cool completely. Okay, so now we're going to make our frosting. What you're going to need is 6 ounces, so that's not quite a whole block, of cream cheese and 3 tablespoons of butter. Make sure that both of those are soft, okay? Then we're going to mix that in our mixer until our cream cheese and our butter is combined. Then we're going to add in about a teaspoon of vanilla. And then to that, we're going to add in 2 1/4 cups of powdered sugar. Now, I didn't sift the powdered sugar for this because I was mixing it. But if for some reason you're needing to mix this by hand, sift your powdered sugar so it doesn't have lumps in it, okay? So just mix that until all of your powdered sugar is good and combined into your cream cheese and butter, and you have a frosting-like consistency. See there? See that? It's beautiful, y'all. So now that our gingerbread is completely cooled, we're going to go ahead and add our cream cheese frosting. Now, like I said, make sure that your gingerbread part is completely cool, because if you don't, when you put this cream cheese and stuff on here, it's going to kind of turn to liquid and it's just going to run everywhere. You know, it's not going to stay like you need it to. So just make sure it's completely cooled, and then we're going to frost it. Now, I decided to get fancy and use this offset spatula because I've had these for forever and I've never used them. And oh my gosh, they made my life so easy. Look how easy this darn thing is to use. And I've been struggling all my life trying to spread icing. But anyway, now we know. Use an offset spatula if you got one. Mine came in a pack off of Amazon, I believe. It's probably in my Amazon store. I'll have it in there for y'all. But they're pretty cheap. So I am going to put some sprinkles on this, and I had this frosting for another video, but I wasn't going to use the sprinkles. So I thought these were really cute, and I just decided I would add these on top of these gingerbread bars. Now, these are like little green and red sprinkles, and then they had little white snowflakes in them, y'all. They were so darn cute. But anyway, I used the whole little pack off of the frosting, but use whatever sprinkles you have. Or if you don't have sprinkles, then don't use any if you don't want to. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Make it however you want to make it. But I thought the sprinkles made it look pretty festive. So I decided to add them on mine. So once that's all done, I went ahead and see how easy it comes out of this jelly roll pan. That's one of the reasons I did go ahead and use it, because I knew nothing was going to stick to it, but I wasn't thinking that it was just going to bubble over and just cook all over the sides. So anyway, like I said, do as I say, not as I do, because y'all know, Lord of mercy, I'm always doing something around here. So once you get your gingerbread out of your pan, go ahead and just get you a big old knife and just cut these into whatever size bars you want them to be. Now, right now, because we just put this cream cheese frosting on here, it's still pretty wet and sticky, you know, the cream cheese part. But if you put it in the refrigerator, because you need to store them in the fridge anyway because of the cream cheese, right? Then that cream cheese frosting will set up for you and you'll be able to stack them and stuff. But just go ahead, cut these into squares, and y'all, they're, even after you pull them out of the refrigerator, they're still chewy. So these are so good. Look how cute these are. Aren't they nice and festive? Those would be really cute for you to add to any holiday party that you are having this year. You know? And even if you don't celebrate Christmas, if you celebrate another holiday, you could use different kind of sprinkles, or don't put any sprinkles on there at all. But I'm just telling y'all, they're really, really good. Now, obviously, I took this video here after they came out of the refrigerator, and they're perfectly fine to stack at that point because your cream cheese has set up. But that is all I have for y'all today, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.